You scroll through Instagram and see someone vacationing in Italy. You open TikTok and see a girl claiming she makes $100,000 per month before turning 25. You check Facebook and see that classmate, who once scored lower than you, now married to a millionaire, living in a mansion, driving a luxury car. You're not even jealous, you just feel worthless. This is a common feeling, especially for young people in the digital age. And it's one reason why so many today are anxious, depressed, or directionless, despite living in the most advanced era in history. Marcus Aurelius, living nearly 2,000 years ago, didn't have TikTok or Instagram. But he saw through the illusion long ago. Look within. Within is the fountain of all true strength. This is a quote from Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and one of history's greatest philosophers. In today's episode, we look at what it means and how you can apply it to your life. Let's get started. First, you need to understand where the problem lies. It lies within these four walls. Well, technically 6 walls, including the two glass ones. This is your room, your safe space, at least it should be. But the moment you step outside, you enter a competition where you're constantly being judged. You're compared based on things you can and cannot control. You're called names based on things you can never change. All you're left with is your reputation, which is shaky at best. If you don't hit your targets, you lose. And if you win, well, everyone forgets about it anyway. You may be thinking, but the world doesn't treat me fairly. I have to fight for what I deserve, and you're right. Life isn't fair, and sometimes you do have to fight. But the first battle is always within. Don't let the noise of the world dictate your self-worth. Remember that your essence isn't decided by anyone but you. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, great, Marcus. But how do I find myself? Where do I start? Don't worry, he thought of that too? And he gave us the powerful tools to help us on this journey. Let's talk about them one by one. The first tool, a hammer? Yes, a hammer. Why? Because Marcus wanted us to shatter the barriers between us and the truth. You see, we tend to build walls around ourselves. Walls made of other people's opinions, expectations, and assumptions. But the moment we let these walls dictate our actions, we lose touch with our core selves. So grab that metaphorical hammer and smash through these walls. Break free from the mold society has tried to shove you into. Once you clear the rubble, take the second tool, a mirror. Look inside. Within is the fountain of all true strength. Reflect on your values, your dreams, your passions. Everyone's inner world is unique. Yours is no exception. Take the time to explore it, understand it, nurture it, because it's there that you'll find your true strength. It's easy to lose yourself in the chaos of everyday life, but taking the time to sit with yourself, to reflect on who you are and who you want to be is crucial. When you do this, you start to understand that your strength doesn't come from external sources, but from within. Speaking of external sources, let's talk about something we all deal with on a daily basis, comparison. It's something we do naturally as humans, but it becomes a problem when we compare ourselves to others in a harmful or toxic way. In our hyper-connected world, comparison is everywhere. With social media at our fingertips, we're constantly bombarded with images and stories of others' lives. It can be hard to escape this onslaught, especially when it seems like everyone around you is striving for perfection. We compare our weight, our appearance, our careers, our relationships, even our happiness. We look at others and think, why can't I have that? Or, what's wrong with me that I don't have that? But what if we turn this around? What if instead of constantly looking outward, we looked inward? Marcus Aurelius said, don't compare yourself to others. Every soul follows its own path. In the context of comparison, this means accepting that each person has their own journey. Comparing ourselves to others is not only unfair, but also inaccurate. We don't know the full story behind the person or the situation we're comparing ourselves to, We only see what people choose to share. We don't see the struggles they've faced or the sacrifices they've made to achieve what they have. When we compare ourselves to others, we often focus on the negative aspects of our own lives. We think, why is my life so different? Why am I not as successful as them? Why is my life harder? Instead of appreciating what we do have, we dwell on what we don't have. And this constant negativity can be draining and overwhelming. So, what can we do instead? Well, Marcus Aurelius offers us a solution. He says, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." When we shift our focus from what we don't have to what we do have, we start to appreciate our lives more. We realize that our lives are still valuable and meaningful. You see, we all have different strengths, talents, and opportunities. What matters is how we use them. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should strive to be the best versions of ourselves. We should set goals and work hard to achieve them, but not because we want to keep up with the Joneses, but because we want to fulfill our own potential. Remember, your life is your life. It's not meant to be a carbon copy of someone else's life. Embrace what makes your life unique. Celebrate your differences, and be grateful for what you have. Life isn't a series of individual moments. It's a collection of experiences that shape who you are. You can't change the past, but you can change how you respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every obstacle, every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. When you focus on personal growth, you're not just building yourself up. You're contributing to the world in your own unique way. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of handling whatever life throws at you. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you're likely to feel inadequate. You'll see only what you don't have and feel like you're falling behind. But when you turn your attention inward, you'll start to see your own progress, your own strengths, and your own unique journey. Remember, your worth isn't defined by the size of your following, the number of likes you get, or the brand of clothes you wear. It's defined by the content of your character, the depth of your soul, and the value of your contributions to the world. Now let's move on to the third point. One of the biggest problems today is that we've lost touch with ourselves. We don't know who we are or what we want because we've been so busy trying to please others. We've lost sight of our own desires and dreams. Imagine for a moment that you're on a crowded street. People are rushing around you, each with their own destination, their own agenda. You feel the pressure to move with the crowd, to go where everyone else is going. You don't want to be left behind. So, you do what everyone else is doing, but you're not sure why. You're just going along with the flow. That's what happens when we lose touch with ourselves. We're just going through the motions of life without any real purpose or direction. We're not living our own lives. We're living the lives that others have planned for us. But what if you stopped for a moment? What if you took a step back and asked yourself, who am I? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do with my life? That's when the journey of self-discovery begins. It's when you start to understand who you are, what you believe in, and what you want to achieve. When you connect with yourself, you start to feel a sense of purpose, a reason for being. You start to see your own unique value in the world. You realize that you have something special to offer. Let's go back to our example of being on the crowded street. What if instead of just going along with the flow, you stopped for a moment and took a deep breath? What if you looked around you and decided that you didn't want to go where everyone else was going? What if you chose your own path? That's what it means to connect with yourself. It's about making decisions based on your own values and beliefs, not based on what everyone else thinks you should do. It's about finding your own voice and using it to make a difference in the world. When you connect with yourself, you become more confident, more assertive, and more fulfilled. You start to feel like you're in control of your own destiny. You realize that you're not just a small fish in a big pond, but a big fish in a tiny puddle. Connecting with yourself is crucial for living a life of purpose and meaning. It's the key to unlocking your potential and making the most of your unique abilities and talents. It's the foundation of true happiness and fulfillment. So take the time to get to know yourself, explore your values, your beliefs, and your passions. Be curious, ask questions, and be open to new experiences. Connect with your inner self and let it guide you on your journey through life. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are others who have walked this path before you, and there will be others who will walk it after you. Reach out to those who can support you, inspire you, and challenge you to be your best self. It's time to take action. Don't wait any longer to start living a life that's true to you. Trust me, the journey will be worth it. We've come to the end of another episode. If you found these ideas helpful, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. Until next time.